Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really plunge into a topic, pull out the key insights from our sources, and basically give you a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the life of a true legend of Indian cinema. It's all designed to help you really understand the actress and poet, Meena Kumari.
Yeah, and our main source for this is a pretty comprehensive biography of her life. Our goal, our mission, if you like, is to, well, break down the layers of her life, from the very beginning right through to her legacy, and especially that mix of incredible talent and, frankly, deep personal sadness that really defined her.
Right. And when you mention Meena Kumari, there's that title that always comes up, the tragedy queen of Indian cinema. What was it based on the biography that really earned her that name? Because it's so powerful.
It is, and it wasn't just the roles she played, though they were a huge part of it, obviously.
She was born Mazhabin Bano, August 1st, 1933, in Bombay. Died so young, March 31st, 1972, only 38.
Tragically young.
And active from 39, not just acting, but poetry, too.
Yeah, exactly. And that tragedy queen title, it seems almost foreshadowed from the start, even from her birth name, Mazhabin Bano. It suggests that the sadness she portrayed on screen, well, it mirrored some really tough realities in her own life.
And her beginnings were quite stark, weren't they? Tell us about that early life.
Incredibly humble beginnings, yeah. Born into a poor Muslim family. Her father, Ali Bucks, he was a theater actor, music teacher. Her mother, Iqbal Begum, also a stage actress.
So performing was in the family, but not necessarily translating to wealth.
Not at all. And this is the really striking part. Meena Kumari, or Mazhabin then, started in films when she was just 4.
4 years old.
4. And not because they thought she was the next big star, but out of sheer necessity, to help support the family. Her first film role was in Leatherface, 1939, as a child artist.
Wow.
So right from the get-go, you have this intense pressure, this blurring of childhood and work, survival, and eventually stardom.
It's such a huge jump, though, from a 4-year-old helping the family eat to becoming the tragedy queen. How did that transition happen? How did she become a leading lady?
Well, the big breakthrough really came with Biography in 1952. That was the film. It didn't just establish her as a proper lead actress, it was huge. And it won her the very first Filmfare Best Actress Award in 1954.
The first ever. That's massive.
Absolutely. That really catapulted her into the top tier.
And then the iconic roles just kept coming.
Oh, definitely. After Biography, you've got Paranita in 53, the classic Sahib Bibi Argulam in 62.
Oh, a masterpiece.
Totally. And, of course, Pakiza, which came out right at the end, 72. But also Fool Arpather in 66, Kajal in 65, Dilep Arpreet Parai in 60, Mir Apni in 71. A really significant body of work.
And her acting style itself became so famous. Those expressive eyes, the nuance. She played these really intense, often conflicted women. How did that connect so strongly with people? That must be key to the tragedy queen title, right?
Absolutely key. According to the biography, her power wasn't just technique. It suggests her own life experiences, loneliness, maybe the pressures of fame, a sort of natural melancholy fed directly into those performances. It wasn't just putting on a sad face. It felt like she was drawing from something real, something deep inside. Audiences sensed that authenticity,
That makes sense. It felt real because maybe, in a way, it was.
Exactly. It was captivating, but also maybe a bit disturbing for her, perhaps.
And there was another side to her creativity, too, one less public. The poetry.
That's right, yeah. A gifted Urdu poet. She used the pen name Naz, which means sort of pride or grace. But her poetry collection, published after her death, was called Tana Chand.
Tana Chand. Lonely Moon.
Lonely Moon. Pretty poignant, isn't it?
Wow, yeah. Especially when you think about her screen image.
Right. It hints at this inner world, this vulnerability, maybe a depth that she poured into her poems, perhaps even more than her roles.
Lonely Moon. It really resonates with the feeling you get from her performances. You have to wonder how much that poetic side fueled the actress. But, behind the camera, behind the fame, her personal life sounds like it was quite different from the glamorous image.
It really was a stark contrast. She married Kamal Amrohi, the filmmaker and actor, in 1952.
Right.
And while it was clearly passionate, the sources describe it as, well, troubled. Very troubled. They eventually separated.
And things got harder later on.
Yeah, the biography talks quite openly about her struggles in the later years. reports of deep loneliness, emotional distress, and sadly, problems with alcohol.
It's almost like life imitated art or art imitated life. That tragedy queen label seems to stick so closely to her actual experiences.
It really does.
Do you think, based on the biography, that playing those roles maybe deepened her own sadness? Or was it the other way around?
That's a really tough question.
Mm.
The book doesn't frame it as like a self-fulfilling prophecy, exactly, but it definitely suggests a strong connection, a kind of feedback loop. Her sensitivity made her brilliant in those tragic roles, but living inside those characters on top of her own real-life difficulties. Yeah, it likely made her own struggles feel even heavier. Art and life were just deeply intertwined for her.
And that brings us to Pakiza, a film that's just inseparable from her name, her legacy.
Absolutely. And the story behind that film is incredible in itself. It took almost 14 years to complete.
14 years.
Nearly. A real labor of love, and it became an instant classic when it was finally released.
The timing.
Just heartbreaking. She passed away only weeks after Pakiza came out, liver cirrhosis. She was just 38.
To pour so much of her life into that film while battling health issues and then not get to see its full impact, it's incredibly sad.
It really is. But it also shows her dedication, doesn't it? To see it through despite everything. A final, huge artistic statement.
And despite that tragically short life, look at the recognition she received. 4 Filmfare Awards for Best Actress. That's amazing.
It is. For Baiju Bowra, Parineeta Kajal, and Sahib Bibi or Gulam. Plus, loads of nominations. And since her death, countless tributes, books, documentaries, film retrospectives. People are still fascinated by her.
Like the 50th anniversary of Pakiza in 2022.
Exactly. That got huge attention. It just shows her impact hasn't faded. She really lasts.
So summing her up, she's an icon, no question. Indian cinema royalty. A symbol of grace, yes, but also that poetic sorrow, that enduring beauty, her story, that blend of artistic highs and deep personal lows, it still speaks to people today. Filmmakers, writers, audiences.
So just to recap our deep dive, we've traced Meena Kumari's path from being a child artist, literally working to support her family, to becoming this revered tragedy queen, this talented poet. Her life really was as dramatic, as poignant as her most famous movie roles. Absolutely. And understanding her life story, the real person behind the screen image, it gives you such a powerful insight into her work. It really deepens your appreciation for her art, lets you see the talent and the challenges she faced.
Definitely. So as you think about everything we've discussed today, here's a final thought for you to mull over. If that tragedy queen persona was so tangled up with her actual personal suffering, what does that tell us about the cost, maybe, but also the power of really true artistic expression? Something to consider. How much does an artist's own life fuel their genius? And can it sometimes tragically consume them too?